Yes, yes, yes. Hello. Come on. You hear that beat? You know what it is. George Mason Show, everybody. Just the beat. Got a great show for you tonight. No question about that. I got the man behind the scenes, from the ground up productions, Ray Merriman. I'm dying to do this interview because it's you know, a lot of people like don't really know what goes on like behind the scenes. You understand? And it's a great show from the ground up productions. It's really progressive. It's their whole presentation very professional, and it's my curiosity always used to drift as far as to like how this is done, how that is done, and so we got Ray Merriman tonight, no question about that, and he'll answer a lot of those questions, and we're going to just talk some topical stuff, if you will. Uh, I like to pick people's brains, to some extent. Sometimes I get my brain picked, so it's all good, and you know, it's like that. And you know what? What I want to do, first of all, I want to say, let's. I'm based out of New York. For some of you that don't know, this show here, this podcast, is New York based, and we've got people from all over. Let's see who we got here on the check-in. Let's see what's going on. Teresa. Oh, okay. Lady Miz. Hey, what's up, Lady Miz? Shout out to the Navy vet, no doubt. That's what's up, and it's all good. So she's the other half of from the Ground Up Productions, and he's going to talk about that. He's going to get into that, and it's a good thing. And because I'm searching around, like I was going to say about the Yankees. The Yankees they're down 2-1. What is it? No, my bad. It was down three nothing. They came back last night. They won, so it's 3-1 now. So it's interesting. They're playing a little later, and let's wish the Yankees some luck. Let's say good luck. But listen, I'm bursting at the seams, to be honest with you. Let's without further ado, I want to bring out Ray. Ray's he's a Navy vet. He's behind the scenes. Hey, Karen Biden. Karen is out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She was responsible for Aaron Rodgers coming here, and you know what? He's not doing bad. Aaron is not doing bad. They just can't get the kicking game, the defense. It's just a whole bunch of things that all at once. It just seems like it's just fell into the Jets' lap. I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah, I want to bring out Ray, and we're going to talk. I want to see what the hell is going on. They said that Ray was an enigma, uh, and you know. I'd said that one time, and somebody's like, I called somebody in their nickname, and they were like, man, don't, you ain't got the curse. I'm like, it's not a curse word, an enigma. That is, Alexa, what is the definition of enigma?
An enigma is a puzzling or inexplicable occurrence or situation. If you need more definitions for enigma, ask me to give you more.
Give me more. Alexa, give me more definitions for enigma.
I have 3 more definitions for the noun, enigma. 1. A person of puzzling or contradictory character. 2. A saying, question, picture, etc., containing a hidden meaning, riddle. 3. The German built-in ciphering machine developed for commercial use in the early 1920s and later adapted and appropriated by German and other Axis powers for military use through World War II. Did that answer your question?
Yes, Alexa, thank you.
Thanks for your feedback.
without further ado, let's bring out Ray Merriman. Huh? Give it up for Ray.
What?
There you go. What's up, Ray? I bought a minute and took him out just that quick. What's up with that?
What's
There
up?
you
What's
go.
up? What's up?
That's good. Everything is good, Ray. Yeah, I was just giving a definition. I go to my little assistant, and she solves my problems. She's my pretty much my right hand, if you will. And yeah, so I gave a little background into what you do. It's not, of course, it's not everything because your work just doesn't stop, and tell everybody who you are and what's going on.
What's up, everybody? Let me tell you something real quick before we get in. When you was doing your Alexa, while my Alexa was in here answering and talking, now we can't get that thing to do anything for us. But wait, as soon as you said well, Alexa, it started talking to us.
Is that right? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's how
So
they pick up for that. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's crazy. I was like, yo, this thing don't listen to us at all.
Y'all have it programmed? You should have it programmed, you know.
Yeah, that thing. We got so many of them things being here going crazy.
Oh, that's what
But
it is.
anyway, I'm Ray. They call me on Instagram. I'm Ray the Silent Assassin. I'm from the Bronx, Navy vet. I'm what you would call a producer / co-host on From the Ground Up. I do a dibble and dab in a little different things, trying to work my way and learn things as I go around, as the days come along, as we get moving.
Yeah, like I said, I was very impressed, and I am impressed with your show, From the Ground Up Productions.
Thank
Everything
you.
that goes into it, as far as like the whole presentation, the fronts, everything, and so you're responsible for a lot of that, and so that my hat goes off to you, and shout you out on that front. But that's your picture there. You look like you're about 10, 12 years old there, B.
Yeah,
Straight
and
up.
I was 28 in that picture.
You was what?
28. When I
Nah,
joined the
you wasn't.
Navy, I was 28 years old.
Ray. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta front. You ain't
Yeah,
got
I was the second oldest in my my boot camp. In boot camp, there was a guy
word.
who was older than me. He was like 31.
Yeah, you got that baby face. That's what it is.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was nothing but 17, 18-year-olds in there when I joined the Navy.
And you fit right in. You look like you're about 17, 18. You
Yeah,
heard that.
at
I
the
know
time,
this is not the first time you're hearing that.
yeah, I've heard that before. But yeah,
Karen got
that
jokes.
picture,
Uh-huh.
that's the only picture I have of me. The only one of the two pictures I have of me being in the Navy. In that picture, I was supposed to be smiling, and the photographer, when they took that picture, was like smiling. I'm like, I am smiling on the inside, And they
Yeah.
they was like, we can't take this. You gotta smile. But they ended up taking it anyway, because I
Nah,
wouldn't
but it
smile in
came
that
out
picture.
good, but you look so young. I mean, you look like you got that baby face. A
Well,
little.
thank you.
Well, what is the name, Holmes? The one that Albie Shore's son. Uh, you know, but yeah, so it's all good, brother. So it's good to have you here. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, like I was saying with Alexa, Enigma, she answered that. The mystery, that whole thing. You have that moniker as well.
Hmm.
Uh, the silent
I'm not quite
assassin.
sure how to help you with that.
See, you say her name, but it's she just. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you.
You are so very welcome. Hope you had a good Wednesday.
Yes, I did. But Karen says,
Wow.
yeah, she goes into all that. Karen says, me and Alexa have a relationship, and we do kind of. It's interesting. But you know what? So you're from the Bronx, and what part of the Bronx?
I'm right. I grew up like 2 blocks from Yankee Stadium on the Grand Concourse,
On
right in
Ogden,
front of.
right by Ogden Avenue over there. You and the
Yeah, well,
Kings.
yeah, Jerome
Yeah.
Avenue, more closer to Jerome Avenue.
So you're not up the hill.
Yeah, I was up the hill. I was up right off the Grand Concourse. If anybody from the Bronx, if you know where the Supreme Court building was,
You got
I
yeah,
live right
down
directly
right down
across the
the
street
block
from
there,
there.
161. But the old Yankee Stadium was right over there on that corner. You know, when you
Yes.
come up on the D train or the 4 train, you have to walk down right there, then up the block there. But yeah, so Ogden, if anybody knows what Ogden, because I know that
Yeah.
was like my boy Eddie Prather. That's his old stomping grounds. He's in Florida now. Yeah, I used to
Mhm.
hang out there for a little bit back in the day, somewhat. But yeah, so yeah, man. So small world, I'll tell you that. It's
Yeah.
interesting. And you a Yankee fan?
Of course. Born and raised.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think their chances are tonight?
None. Well, tonight they got a small chance, but I'm not getting hyped up about it because when you got one or two players hitting the ball and you got the bullpen that can't pitch.
I
This
know.
this season is
That's
over for
that's
them.
that's the problem right there. But yeah, the bat seemed like it came alive last night. So maybe we got a little bit of hope there. We'll see how it goes. If we get this one tonight, then back to LA and we take
Yeah,
it.
I wouldn't put no money on it.
I heard that. Yeah.
And
You
I'm a
know,
I'm a diehard Yankee fan, but at this point, I look at it. This is pretty much over. I'm moving on to basketball
nah,
now.
you can't. Nah. Let's keep our hopes. Let's do like Jesse Jackson. Let's keep our hope alive. No doubt.
Yeah,
But
it's over for me. There's been 3 games of frustration. I'm done with it.
and it's just been so disappointing. And but hey, we might be talking a little differently after tonight. Let's say they come off tonight, and then like I say, we take it to LA, and then a little bit of inspiration, man. You never know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if they win tonight, yeah, I'm in it. If they win tonight, I'll get back in it. But if they, right now, I want to see.
okay, I hear you. I feel you. Because me, I'm a diehard fan for real. I'm one of
Hmm.
those cats, man. I'm not Spike Lee. I can't do the Spike Lee thing. Like every game, like he's been
Yeah.
with the Knicks, but you know what? He got some joy this year. He switched over to the Liberty because they right out of there. He doesn't live too far from Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Like downtown Brooklyn,
Oh,
they
okay.
fix it up. It's real nice. Yeah, Cumberland, like over there, like the Fort Greene area and stuff. You come up, they got a Navy station right down in Fort Greene, and on Cumberland Avenue. Yeah, and
Yeah,
how many years did you do in the
I
in
did.
the Navy?
I did 4 years active, and then I did 4 years reserve after that.
Can they
So
still
from
call you up for anything, or
not now, nah, I'm done.
what if they called you, or what if they say, "Yo, man, we need you"? What would you do?
Nope. If they not, if the terrorists ain't knocking on my door, if they over there, they can stay over there. I'm not going.
You're not going.
Nah, I learned a lot with this. I don't have anything against this, this country, but I think there's a time where we got to stop being the world police and start fixing home first. We got a lot of unnecessary stuff going on at home to keep going over across the world fixing that stuff.
Interesting. I agree with you on that. Because then we got all this new situations now with the migrants and the different things. I was going to Coney Island the other day and past Floyd Bennett Field, and that's where they have a lot of the migrant situation and stuff like that. And it's a big open field. You been to Floyd Bennett?
No.
You never been to Floyd Bennett? Yeah, it's that's where they house many of the migrants that they brought in, and they're having so many problems over there. But I just, I was like, whoa, and the winter's coming up, man. It's going to be a hell of a thing. The Venezuelans, man, you seen what they did, right? They took over. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just crazy, man. They took over a whole apartment complex, huh? And it's just like that. What was that movie where they took over and started with selling crack out of their junk? What movie was that?
New Jack City.
New Jack. Yeah, New Jack. They New Jack City the building, and
Yeah.
they did like two or three of those buildings over there. And what part? What where was that? Help me out, Ray. What part? What state was that? Um,
Oh, oh man, you know, it's on the tip of my tongue too, because I just recently I was talking about it with my brother, because
mhm.
they had a video going around with the guys going in people's doors with guns.
Yeah, yeah. Alexa, the Venezuelan gangs. What apartment complex did they take over?
The Whispering Pines Apartments in Aurora, Colorado, were
Aurora,
taken over by
Colorado.
the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang towards the end of
Yeah.
2023.
So yeah, they took over in Colorado, which is a very conservative state, but they just roughhoused it, and roughshot it, and just came up in there and just uh, bogart, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah.
On an interesting note, and you know, I'm not sure how true this is, but I'm
Hmm.
flipping through we talking about the migrants, and I'm flipping through, I think either Facebook or Instagram, one of them news cycles that popped up on my phone, and you know, they kind of put the comparison to how much money we spent on the migrants compared to the veterans in this country. And when they
Hmm.
did the numbers, it was 66 billion for the migrants and 3 billion for the veterans.
Are you serious?
That's this that like I said, I don't know. I'm not, don't quote me on the story of how true it was, but that's the number that they're putting out.
Wow. You know, and see, you know, the politicians, they're coming up now, the voting. Um, I don't know if you did the early voting thing yet.
Nah,
Not yet. Yeah.
not yet.
Yeah. So it's amazing how the politicians, what they don't talk about. You know, they'll come at you with the basic stuff. But, you know, at the end of the day, as you said before, they need to just, you know, solve the problems here before we go out elsewhere, before we outsource it anywhere else. And you know what? I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you too about, like, how do you feel about well, first of all, you were in the Bronx. How long uh, have you're married? And
Mhm,
tell
yes.
everybody who you're married to.
Well, I'm married. Or I've been with Lady Miss almost 20 years. We've been married of 13. So it's
Okay.
yes, you know, it's a, you know, with any marriage, you know, it's gonna be some up and downs, but
Of
you
course.
know, it's what you do is it's which it's not what you go through is what you get through, you know?
No doubt. No doubt. I like that. I like that. And that's interesting. So you did 4 years in the Navy and then 4 years. So you did a total pretty much 8 years, the four and
Yeah.
four, right? And you've been married, as you say, for 13 years. You've been together 20 years. 7 years, you were just, you know, going through, I guess, getting to know each other, whatever,
Yeah.
however
Figured
process.
out what we're gonna do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, so uh, more power to you and more props. And also, I want to say this too. Thank you for your service, your
Thank
military
you.
service. Much respect,
I
for sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah. You know what I seen a couple of years ago was a movie with Richard Widmark about
Hmm.
the Navy SEALs, but it was back in the 50s, like I think 52, 54, something like that. And Frogmen, it's called. And
Hmm.
yeah, you saw it? You
Nah,
know what
I've
I'm
heard of
talking
it,
about?
but I never saw it.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you check that out. It's really compelling, and it's on point. It's precise, and you know what captivates me is like how did they get these shots? Like in the ocean. Now this is supposed to be World War II. They're out there. They're doing their things, and they were the under UDT teams, underwater demolition team. All right,
Hmm.
and yo, the stuff that cats do, man, that you guys, you know, that's why I say I take my props off there. I seen that movie with Cuba Gooding where he was out there in the middle of the ocean all by himself as uh, just what is the the deep sea diving.
Yeah, that movie
Yeah,
is Men of Honor.
Men of Honor. Robert De
Yeah, that's
Niro.
Men of Honor.
Robert De Niro was in that, and great movie.
Yeah, it was.
Just
I actually met the guy that was the movie about, going through Walmart one day. Happened to him. He was standing outside, and he was real cool. You know, he was shaking hands with people, and, you know, just nonchalant about it.
you talk about Carl Bashir.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. That was who the movie was about, Carl Bashir, right?
yep.
And
But I
yeah,
believe
he
so.
was,
Yeah,
yeah, and a hell of a movie, but you know, it impacts. It tells you real life exactly like what's going on, like the racism, you know, the stuff that we as black men have to deal with, and even how you made it. She's like, this is your wife who's giving me questions for you. She says, you cracking up. You like that? That's her all day, right?
yeah,
She said, Ray, tell them about your experience being in the military, how
yeah.
you made it
You know,
through five.
you know, one thing I could say about, she always got my back. She always want to make sure I stay well prepared.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm cracking. I'm laughing because I'm like, you know, we're gonna get to all that, but it's all good. She says,
Yeah,
tell them about how
you
you
know,
got to E5, right?
you know. I'm gonna tell you
This
though.
is about Ray. Let's go. Laugh out
For
loud.
4 years ago, 4 years, you wouldn't believe how many countries I seen in 4 years. I'm gonna tell you a funny story about how I ended up actually even joining the Navy.
Okay.
Right when I used to work in the post office.
Okay.
When Priority Mail first came out, during the course of, you know, I probably, like, after about 4 years, they started laying people off. So because they were laying us off, part of a severance type thing was to pay for us to go to college. So I decided, all right, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna go to college, start doing the college thing. Well, my first class was typing, and they want you to sit there and type on this typewriter without looking. So I'm like, nah, you know what? If this is what college is gonna be like, I'm out. So I happened to be in my house one day watching the movie G.I. Jane.
Okay.
I watched it a few times, and I'm like, wait a minute. If this lady could do boot camp, it can't be that hard. So I finally went over to the Navy recruiting office, told them I wanted to join. They was like, all right. And the crazy part is, even though I wanted to join, they still lied to me. You know, they telling me, yo, hey, when you join, you're gonna see McDonald's on the ship and all of that. And I'm like, yo, you ain't gotta lie
No,
to me.
they
I know
didn't
that
tell
ain't
you.
true.
They didn't tell you that.
Yes, he did. The
They didn't tell
recruiter
you that.
told me,
Stop.
he's
Stop,
like, yeah,
Ray.
you're gonna
Stop.
have McDonald's and all of that. And I'm like, you don't gotta lie to me because I came to you. It's not like you came to me and said, hey, do you want to join? I
Right.
came to you,
Yeah.
you know? But I tell everybody, my experience with boot camp, some people might see it differently. But because I grew up in the Bronx, and being how hard the Bronx was, boot camp was easy. You know, I could have did my whole 4 years in boot camp with exercising all day. It wasn't nothing to me.
Because you was already hyped up about it. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, you know,
Mm,
I was already in shape.
right. Right. So that's deep. So how many countries did you see, or do you know? Your estimation or guesstimation?
Oh man, I you know, to be real with you, I've seen so many countries that some of them, you know, I might see it on TV. It's like, oh, I've been there. You know, like I could tell you off the top of my head, I was Portugal, Spain, Rome, Italy, France, uh, Greece, Bahrain, Turkey. You know, just off the top of my head.
And Lady Miss, she says, why didn't you want to eat the food in other countries?
Well, we were going on a 6-month deployment, and on that 6-month deployment, before we left, they started giving out the anthrax vaccine. So, you know, in order for that vaccine to work, you had to take 3 shots. So after once we, you know, at one point, they didn't even want you asking questions about it. So when we got to the third shot, I'm like, hey, what's the reason for so many shots in, of this vaccine? So the guy goes to me, well, because we're going to be overseas and we're going to be buying meat from other countries, this vaccine here, anthrax, is to
Right.
make sure that you're safe.
Okay.
Once he told me that, the crazy part of me set in. I was like, yep, I'm not eating anything, especially meat, that comes off that ship.
Oh, that's why you didn't eat.
Yeah, and for 6 months, I lost the. Well, I went in when I went on my 6 month deployment. It had to be about 190, 100, almost close to 200. By the time I got off my 6 month deployment, I lost like 50 pounds. I
Damn.
was weighing like 140 because
Damn.
I wasn't eating none of that stuff. I was eating like when we would go out into ports or we would go anywhere where there was place where I could buy food, I would buy like cup of noodles or
Stuff like
uh,
that. Yeah.
stuff like that. And I would also buy like I would do all my, like, another one of the things I really didn't do a lot of is like when everybody did their laundry, I washed mine outside the ship. I was it's some
Yeah.
part of it. They was, they looked at it, it's crazy. Like, this guy has lost his damn mind. Cause I didn't eat meat. They was, when I wasn't eating that stuff, they was like, yeah, it was a few times. It was like, we gotta make sure this guy's all right, because I wasn't eating that stuff. But after that guy told me that, I was like, no, the only one time where I went into Greece and I tried their gyros, I was like, oh, now this I could continue to eat. But
So yeah,
anything
the
that came,
gyros are good, man. That's what is that? That's lamb, right?
right,
Yeah.
there's lamb,
Veal.
tomatoes, lettuce, all of that stuff. It's really
Hmm.
good though. It's what we eat here in this country has nothing on what it tastes like in Greece.
It's well, are you in Italy as well? I would imagine.
Yes,
What's
and
like? It's got to be like incredible eating the pizza and the lasagna. The
you
prosciutto
know,
has got to be, man, damn.
funny thing, I like American pizza better. It is nothing against Italian pizza, because they cook their pizza in a brick oven. The places I went into was little real brick oven pizza, but the way they put the cheese on it, it was like, nah. The little spots here and there, it was like, nah, I don't I don't like this pizza. I don't want to eat this. So I didn't really eat a lot of their pizza, but over, like, right here, I was a real like soda drinker when I was in the Navy, and a can of soda in Italy was $5 compared to a
It's
can
what? What
was
year? What year are we talking about?
1999. Can
Wait,
of
hold on.
soda in Italy was $5 American.
So what is it now? That's 1999.
Yes. So I couldn't imagine what it is 20 years. And the crazy part about that, it was they told me because it was so expensive because it was imported.
That's not
It was
that's no, they bullshit and they lying. But you know what? Yeah, come on, $5 for a soda. That's worse than like going to the game. Like that's what they're
yeah,
paying for a bottle of water now. That's like you go to
yeah.
42nd Street. If they don't think you from here, it's like they charging you $5, $6 for water. It might be more now, you know.
Man, when we
But
when we was going down there, man, we were going with our own stuff. It was very rare we'd be like, I'm gonna stop here. Unless we, like, I think a few times we stopped in Krispy Kreme. But when we went down to the city, we were coming with our own shit. We wasn't buying nothing from down there.
so you first enlisted in 1990 what?
98,
So that was
April of
like a year
98.
after your while you were involved there. So you were in 1998, and
Hmm.
wow, and interesting. You know, let's
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm considered the first Gulf War. I'm considered a veteran of the first Gulf War.
Oh, so okay, no doubt. Yeah, lady Miss, she says soda is probably $30 now. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it probably is.
$5 back then. That was in 98. Damn. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
98, 90, 2008, 218. That's 20, what, 26? That's 26 years, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's about
Damn.
26. Yep.
Something like that. Damn. So shit, it might be 15, $20 now. Like she
Yeah.
said, maybe it's $30. Let's welcome Bonnie Chambers. Hey, Bonnie, welcome to the show. God bless you, honey. God bless. Yeah, so good. Soda, $20 and stuff like that. That don't make any sense, you know. So But yeah, Lady Miss says, tell us about the experience on how you made it to E5 and how they chop you, how they tried to stop you, like the movie y'all just talked about. I want to hear
Yeah, that's it's when I came into the Navy. I came into the Navy. I was an E1, the equivalent of what they call a seaman recruit, right?
that. Hmm.
So when advancement in the Navy, once you get to E4, you have to take a test.
So, but
So
explain what is an E. That's explain what those terminologies
the
are.
E stands for enlisted.
Okay.
Enlisted for E1 is like enlisted the first, and as you go up, it goes up to E9, I believe. It has been a while, so I don't remember the exact number, but I think it's E9 or E10. I don't remember the exact. And it's
So
the
the
same
E
for
stands
officers.
for enlisted.
Enlisted.
Okay, so enlisted, you were at E4 at that point, and
No. When I joined the
E5.
Navy, I was an E1. I
But
came in.
when Lady Miss is asking, she said, "Tell us about the experience on how you made it to E5 and how
Yeah,
they
I'm
tried to stop you." Hmm.
gonna get into that. I'm gonna tell you. This starts out. I came in as an E1. When I got to my ship, uh, after maybe I had probably been there maybe less than a year. So but in less than a year, I had made it up to E3. So in order to make E4, you got to take a test. So I'm on a 6-month deployment, and as a chief, this chief I know, I haven't seen him around, or I haven't seen him. Normally, I run into a lot of the guys from my ship on Facebook, but there was this
Okay.
Chief Randolph. When I was on the ship, I didn't sleep at all. I might get 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, but once we were out on the water, there was no sleeping for me. So I had this Chief Randolph who when he would see me, he'd be like, "Man, you need to make yourself useful." So one day he came to me. He came to me. He comes with this thick ass book, and he goes, "Since you ain't doing anything, take this book and go around the ship and learn about the ship." So the first week or so, when he gave me that book, I threw it to the side. I'm like, "Nah, I ain't listening to this guy, right?" You know. So after like 2 weeks, the book was in my way. Every time I turned around, that book was there. So finally, one night, I was just sitting there. And at this time, since I was an E3, I had what they call cranking. You had to go in and work in the kitchen. So I wasn't doing anything anyway. So I finally took the book and I started walking around the ship, learning the ship. I ended up getting my enlisted surface warfare pin before I could even put it on,
Okay.
because in order to wear it, you had to be a petty officer. And when I made it, this chief, a lot of times when he would see me, like he just make sure, "Oh, you doing the book?" He wouldn't say much. The day when I took my test, he had to take 2 verbal tests. When he found out I was taking the verbal test with the chiefs, this guy, he's the equivalent, I'm gonna tell you, of leaders that you would expect in the Navy, because you don't see a lot of people like that today. And he was a black man, so he looked at me like, "Yo, I'm," like a mentor, like he was mentoring me.
Okay.
And when I took my like I said, I never forget this guy because he helped me out a lot. When I took my verbal test, I was nervous, and this guy found out. This chief found out I was taking my test. The 2.5 hours I was doing his verbal test, he waited outside the door till I came out.
Wow. Okay.
When
Mm.
I
So he was very supportive.
Yes, when I came out, he goes inside. So I'm thinking, he's gonna come out and tell me how I did. He comes out, he looks at me, and he just stands there. He's like, "You'll find out when you go in," and he walks away. It was like, forget it. Like, so I'm nervous now. So I'm thinking I didn't make it. Finally, I they called me and tell me I made it. Now they did a little ceremony to let me get my pin, but I couldn't wear it. What I found out is, in the Navy, in order to go to E4, you got to take a test. So with me, multiple choice was easy because the test was multiple choice. So I go in, I take the multiple choice test, I make E4. What happened was I had messed up my hand. So when I made E4, I wasn't on my ship. So it upset a lot of people because with a lot of guys, especially the higher ups that didn't like you, they they would do whatever they can to make sure you don't make it if they don't like you. Like when I first got on my ship, there was a group of guys they called dirtbags, you know? And this one guy, he was on his way out. This guy Hayes, he was on his way out, and he would tell me, he's like, man, you know, you got to be careful. You know, you got to. They're gonna try to label you and stop you. So you know, he kind of gave me the game. And what happened was, they would talk about these guys, call them dirtbags. My best friend Jamar, they would call them dirtbags, but these were the guys that were willing to show me what I needed to do to make it in the Navy. Where the
Okay.
guys they was telling everybody, oh, you don't want to be around them. They were the ones who wasn't showing anybody. They were stepping on them to make it.
They
So
were haters. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
I was never that guy. I didn't want to step on nobody. I'm like, if I make this, I'm gonna make it on my own. So when I took my test, these guys, they were, you know, they would do whatever they can. So what they would do is they would try to get you in trouble, because if you got in trouble, when you drop down, because you didn't make it, you didn't, you know, you have to, when you make it to the next grade level, you gotta wait a little while. So if you get in trouble in any time while you're waiting, you don't only drop down to the level you were, you drop down to the level below what you was before you took the test. So let's say I made it to E4. If I got in trouble, I wouldn't drop back down to an E3. I would drop back down to an E2.
E2. So, but you
Yeah,
said you had made it from E1 to E3 in about a year.
if that, it might not even have been a year. So I made
Okay.
it to E5. Most people that when I saw on my ship was making it, you know, 7 to 10 years it took them to do it. I did mine in like 2.5,
Damn. Okay. Wow.
and it was
Mm.
all. I'm like I said, I credit the chief Randolph, because what happened was when I took that test, when I started, I didn't know being an enlisted surface warfare, you know, having that pin also gave me points on my test.
Hmm.
So it made it when like I said, you know, a lot of the guys didn't think I knew my rate. So they would do, like I said, they hated on me a lot, because they just felt like I didn't know what I was doing. So when I started passing and getting into E5, once I made it to E5, they realized, you know, now I'm somewhat in a what you would call supervisor position. And I
Is
would, like I
that
said,
right?
I
Yeah.
would,
So at what
so they
rank?
didn't
So
want
you can
that.
go up to E9. E9 is the highest that you can go before you would. What's the next position or the level after E9?
That's, well, if you stay enlisted, that's it. After
E9.
E9, you could go, they have there's I can't remember it. There's an officer. You go. There's you know, you can become an officer, enlisted officer. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, because it's been so long. Chief,
Okay.
all right, I know what
Okay.
it is. It's chief warrant officer. Some people can become a chief warrant officer. Like
Mm.
I had a friend of mine that he went from enlisted to an actual officer. But you know that takes a lot of work, and you gotta have people who really vouch for you.
So it's a lot
Me,
of politics within that division as well. You gotta.
yes,
What is the old saying? It's not what you know.
it's who you know.
It's like that as well.
Yep. You know, the Navy was on my ship. It was clicky. You know, I was on a ship with 350 guys, but
Okay.
it was like when you know, I tell men all the time, men are the worst when they're clicky, because it's like being on a ship with a bunch of women, because they
It's
always
like
talking
that.
about each other. Yeah, I couldn't. It was, you
Where
know,
was
like I said, I
mostly
had
everybody from though? And within that clique,
everywhere.
you
A
know,
lot of the
was
people
they
was from
from
everywhere.
Wisconsin? You think Karen's relatives were on there? You know what I'm saying? From the Detroit all over, everywhere, right?
Yeah, it was from, you know, you run into people from everywhere. I mean, I met a guy
Did you ever run into
who,
anybody that you knew? I mean, personally knew, or somebody that knew
no,
somebody that you knew? Somebody it wasn't like that, nah.
only one time, because you know, when I grew up in the Bronx, I wouldn't say I was bad, but I knew a lot of people. I wasn't the best, you know, so a lot of people knew me. When I got down, because especially because of where we lived at.
Right.
But I'm pulling into. I was one time pulling onto the base, and the guy says to me, "Hey, I know you. You from 840?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You know, I'm looking at him because, you know, when I hear people say they know me, the first thing I think about, all right, what I did to them, you know, because they were still, you still remember me,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Karen
So
said Great Lakes Naval Base. You hip to that?
yeah, that's where I had my boot camp at.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I know Karen had some type of hand in this. I knew that. Yeah. Hmm. So, what happened to Ray? Ray just dipped out on me. He just was like, "Yo, hey, oh, there you go." What happened, Ray? Silent assassin. Let's get Ray back.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened, man.
So yeah, Great Lakes Naval Base, and welcome Kim Roper, welcome Queen, welcome to the show. Want to check in, and yeah, so interesting. So I didn't know that there's nine. Is that would that be the E1? Is that considered a rank? That's a rank, no?
Yeah, it's a rank. But in the
Okay,
Navy, just like any other branch of the military service, E1 is for all branches. It's all any branch of the military you in. It starts out E1 or O1. But the rank is, like depending on it is, I was because I was Navy. It was seaman recruit, seaman apprentice. Then it would go up to petty officer third, petty officer second classes, which I made, and then it was petty officer first class. That was considered like the higher supervisor, and then it was
right,
chiefs.
got you.
You know,
So all right, so that's what's up. It's an education within itself, and it's interesting, and what I want to also like from from the ground up. Okay,
hmm
you're the production manager there, and I had before we came on, I had asked you, were you also involved with Talk Therapy, The Imperfect Marriage, Hood Court, those shows as well. Those are
Oh,
Lady Miss. I know she's out front. She's the front piece on that.
yeah. That's the face of From the Ground Up. Just the voice, the face. That's who you see. To credit her, she's the one with a lot of most of 99.9% of the ideas. That's Lady Miss. She might tell me,
Check
she's
it
like,
out.
"Hey, I want this. This is how I want it to look," and then I figure out how to make it work for her.
Yeah, because she's giving me, she's producing this show as well. She is giving me the questions to ask you and everything like that. She's feeding me in there. So it's all good. I'm not mad at her. She said, "How is it being the BTS production manager from the crowd up?"
Yeah,
So that's what's up. It's all good.
it's funny. It's funny because behind the scenes, there are times where we be really going at it with each other, going back and forth. And then as soon
Uh-huh.
as it sells, now your host, Lady Miz and Ray, we completely changed. You wouldn't even know we were
Okay, just
actually going back and forth. And then
that's
after the
funny.
show, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's back to what we were
Y'all go
doing.
right back
But it,
at it again. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's funny. That's
but
funny.
yeah, because a lot of times, we bump, we might like she might get mad with me because it might be something that she wanted on there and I forgot, or I didn't have a chance to put on it. So be like, what did you do? You missed it, or I put the wrong video.
Look at look at what she says. That's professionalism. No doubt. But yeah, because your show is very professional, no doubt about that. The fronts and everything, as I said. So it's like I was from the ground up talk therapy, the imperfect marriage and hood court. What do you how's your involvement with that? The same type situation as far as like what's your input?
Well, talk therapy, that's all Lady Miz. When she first started doing it, I used to sit behind because it was easier for me then because I didn't have to worry about the camera. I sit behind and put everything up for her and make sure that whatever she wanted to come up on the screen, that's what I did.
Mhm.
But now it's the way things are now, she can do everything herself. She'll come in, she
Okay.
record talk therapy and then edit it and then put it back out. So it's a lot. It got a lot easier on the talk therapy thing. Now, with Hood Court, we were in the process of doing Hood Court, and then till so somebody came along sent Lady Miz a little a post about them doing it, and we kind of fell back from it. But we still talking about maybe getting back into it because honestly, through everything we doing, because I think that was our most ratcheted show, a lot of people want that back. Everybody say to me, "Hey, we want to see Hood Court again. We want
Yeah, I
y'all to
like
bring
Hood
that
Court.
back."
I
So
like
we
Hood
we
Court a
may
lot.
eventually bring it back. It might come under a different name, but eventually it'll come back. We might. Now we're also working on we put out a couple of audio podcasts of in-person marriage with me. Eventually going to get that coming back to or video where we could talk. We're going to talk about marriage and how we named it imperfect. So imperfect, I'm perfect, because you're perfect, and it's not meant to be. And we're going to talk about it and be transparent about how marriages work and how to make it work
Well,
through
you said
every.
up front that there's ups and downs, in every
Yeah.
marriage. So can you kind of like hit that on the head, from J Street. But so that's what's up. So
you
uh
know,
no,
me and Mitch talk about it all the time. When you look at the way TV is nowadays, it's meant to destroy marriage. It's meant to make marriage look like a bad thing. And I hate
yeah,
to say, you got, and I'm gonna say this to a lot of guys out here, because you got a lot of guys out here, especially married ones. They pissing in the same pool that they trying to swim in. Because they trying to be married but still running around acting like they're single. And I
right.
always say, once you get a certain age, there got to be a point where you got to fall back and be like, you know what? I need somebody I want somebody who's gonna be there. It's time to grow up. So, you got 50-year olds still trying to be players. Like, yo, cut that out, man. You getting old. Your kids might not be wanting to take care of you. So you better find somebody who cares about you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? A lot of people don't think along those lines because as you're going through life and you're living life, and before you realize it, you're at a certain point where it's like, whoa, now you're at the now what stage, now what, that kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. So it's interesting. I was watching something the other night with Ben Stiller. I don't know if you ever Brad Status. Pretty interesting. It just breaks down a lot of things about the process of life, going through life, the success, how people are super successful and they're in a certain status, and even though you were the same in a circle, you guys are running in college or in the middle, whatever. Then you hit a certain level. Now they don't really want to be. They're not bothered with you. Never mind, they don't want to be bothered with you. They have moved on. But it was
Mm-hmm.
interesting along those lines. And also uh, with the publishing, all the different businesses that you guys have, the potato chip, Lady Miss, that's hers as well.
Yeah,
Are you involved? Mhm.
that's Lady Miss Baby right there. That's she put a lot of hard work into that, and I watched her a lot of nights sitting up, trying to figure out how to make it work, the companies to talk to, how to get the artwork perfect, trying to make
But
sure
you
that when
have a
she put
hand in
that.
it though as well, though. What I'm saying is that you're not just on the outside. You're on the outside. It's her project. It's her baby, as you said. But you definitely have a hand in it as well. I'm pretty sure.
with
No question.
with
You guys are partners.
with Boss Move Chips. Nah, I think that was a lot of her. That was, like I said, that was a lot of her working. Most of the times what I did was just move the boxes from around the house where she wanted it moved. But
Well, that's behind the
once
scenes. That's part of production, huh?
but getting that baby together, that was all her work. That was her
No doubt.
busting her ass every night trying to make it work, especially on the way it happened. So yeah, that was and she got other stuff we working on. I know, working on cookies. I was talking to her now because I drink coconut water, so that's one of the things I want to branch off into, is getting it
Are
on
you
coconut
Caribbean?
water. No, but I
That's
have
like
my
that's their
brothers.
thing, man. That coconut water.
Yeah, my brother put me onto that, and I was, I was laughing at him. I was like, "Oh, nah, I'd rather, I'm drinking water." Till one time we was doing the Queens thing. We was out in Queens doing the when they do the Springfield Queens.
Springfield. Okay.
Yeah, that's the day we met you,
Okay.
and we was out there, and we was filming, and that day was like close to 100 degrees. Everybody else is drinking
It was
water.
close to 100. It was
Yeah.
175 degrees that day.
So I'm out there, I'm drinking coconut water, and I'm out there, and to me, I was good. I'm watching people throw back the water, and I'm drinking one can of coconut water, and I'm out standing out in the sun for an hour. It didn't bother me at all. So after I did that, I was like, you know what, this coconut water it was more healthier and more refreshing than just drinking regular water.
So you've been
So
on it since then? Yeah.
since then, and
Wow. Okay.
the kids in here love it. My son, when I put it in here, when I put it in.
You know what I want to ask you is, like, you just mentioned your son. How many kids do you have? Or,
We have 3 kids, 2 boys and a
okay,
girl.
you have 3. 2. And I know one time, I know Lady Miz was your son plays basketball,
Yeah.
right? He likes to, how do you feel about like LeBron and his son, Bronny?
I'm
What's
not
your
mad
take?
at it. We get mad with black men, especially when we try to put our own on. Not for nothing. These white millionaires been doing it with their kids for a long time. So a lot of people's like, oh, he's not ready. It doesn't matter to me if he's ready or
Doesn't
not.
matter.
His dad put him on, let him play. That's it.
Yes, I agree with you 100% because, like you said, look, uh, hey, he'll find his way. He'll work his way into
Hmm.
it. So I'm not mad at it either. I'm glad. I'm happy they made history, and every time they step on the court, that's history. That's historic. You know.
Yep.
Karen says she had heat sickness that night. It was 102 degrees. Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah, it was hot that night.
You
Now,
know what?
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to talk to you because and I know earlier I want to get back onto the veterans thing, and this is one of the things that are close to my heart. It is veteran suicide. You know,
Hmm.
and what people don't know, the estimated number of veterans a year is they say it's when you total it out, it almost comes up to like 22 veterans a day die by their own hands.
22 a day.
22 a day.
Is this what you wanted to talk about before when you were talking about black men and mental therapy? Is that part of it,
No,
or
that's
is that
that
separate?
well, that's a separate thing. The veteran suicide is a thing that's really along with black men and mental health, but veteran suicide because it's not talked about enough. A lot of when you see a lot of veterans, they come home and they end up on the street. You know, we don't talk about it. When you look at most of the homeless, people don't tell you that a lot of those homeless are veterans from the street that are via veterans. You know, and we look at that. When I was growing up, we used to look at the veterans. We'd be seeing them out there, and we like what we call shell shock. Today, now I know it's called post traumatic stress, which I was diagnosed with also. So to me, it's personal. You know. So
Hmm.
when I see that, I think it touches me because when I hear that, it's like that's a really high number for people who nobody's even paying attention to. So I'm trying to have this. I'm trying to work. I'm working on right now with a group, but I want to branch out to try to do it on my own to help with veteran suicide, to have places for them where they can actually talk to. Because I mean, luckily for me, the VA helped me, but a lot of them don't get that help. A lot of
Yeah.
them get overlooked. So I want to find a way to get them, because some of them, a lot of times, they need people like me or another veteran who wants to talk to them, who understands that. Sometimes regular people who've never been there don't understand the plight of a veteran, or what they may be going through or how to talk to them.
I think you said something key there. It's like you said, a person that hasn't been there before, you can't really relate, along those lines. So you being there, then other veterans, they know what they're experiencing, what they, where their head is at, that type of thing. So I wish you the best with that. And you also told me about you have a book coming out.
Oh yeah, well it's out already. Me, and- me and Lady Miz, we were talking one time. We were on the phone, and we were just going back and forth. You ever have those people around that they know how to, they have all the money in the world to party, get high, buy the fly clothes, but when it's time to pay their bills, they coming to you like, hey, I need some money, So we ran into a lot of people like that. So we were trying to figure out, we were talking about it one day, and we was like, yo, let's just write a book and have them explain that. So we came up with this book here. I don't know if you can see it. It's tell your story. Bring towards your face. Yeah, and what it is you put it in, you fill it out, and it's for anybody who has lent money to somebody they see just spending all their money up and then coming to you to borrow it. And you ever notice those people when they borrow money from you, when it's time to give you your money back, they mad with you. They don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. You can't reach them on the phone or nothing. No.
So yeah, it's like a journal. Yeah, right. Fill this journal out. Give that. This is for you to give to those people. So yeah, here's this little journal on. Tell us how you doing it.
So basically, the book is blank. The pages are blank.
It got some questions, some stuff in it where you fill it out. It's you like how you like I'm explaining how you get money for alcohol is one of them things, and it's that journal like now you're coming to me for money, but when you had the money for alcohol, explain how you had the money then, but now it's time to pay your light bill and you ain't got the money. You
ain't got no money, yeah. But like you said, there's people that get high every day. They smoke weed, they sniff, they do this and do that. They drink every day, and they find a way to come up to get high and that alcohol. That's facts. That's real.
Yeah. So yeah, we working on that. That was one of the things we came out. It's out now. You could buy it in Amazon. It's on Amazon.
And the name of it again is
it's Tell Your Story. This is how it looks. So you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Available on Amazon. Your partner, she chimes in. Yeah, you already just said that. So, but yeah, like you say, she got your back, and for sure, because the Anzo, pronounce the name of your ship, Anzio.
It's named after the Battle of Anzio in Italy. From what I understood. But with that battle, the average lifetime was 12 seconds for people coming off the boat.
What?
For anybody landing on ground that day, the average lifespan was 12 seconds.
Damn. So, Anzio. And you were on that ship for where he
I did 4 years on that ship.
You did your whole 4 years, your whole tour.
Yeah, I did my whole 4 years on that ship. And now, don't get me wrong, it's like that. It was a small cruiser, but I could say I made a lot of very close friends, buddies. That I would look at as brothers in some aspect. Because we were there for. There was some, like I said, yeah, you're gonna have those ones that like they don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves. But then you got those ones, like in any job, the people who gonna have your back because they know what they're there for, and they know what you're there for.
And your
but I
wife, she put up the
I wanted to talk to you because since we were talking about the veterans and the suicide, I want to also get on Black men and mental health. Especially with growing up I grew up in the Bronx. So any inner city, a lot of people, we all know that the inner city is not really the safest place growing up, depending on where you live at. In the Bronx, when I grew up at early 70s and 80s, it was burnt down. A lot of when you see the Bronx now, you wouldn't believe what it looked like when I was younger. So when we grow up as Black men, mental health, when you having an issue, they look at you, nah, you'll be all right, or they'll tell you some men ain't supposed to cry, or you're supposed to keep your feelings to yourself. And what we have created now is these kids the way they are now, where they don't give a damn about nothing. They out here, they killing for them is easy. you know. But that we fail to understand that that's not these kids that. I'm gonna say what it is. When you out there, you seeing murders all day, or you seeing stabbings and killings. That's that's stress. That's post traumatic stress that's not being addressed. And it had we as a community have to come together to fix that and change the narrative that therapy is nothing wrong with going to therapy. I know for a fact it worked for me.
Okay.
You know, and a lot of I'm not ashamed to say it. If I need to go to therapy right now, I'm calling up my therapist like, hey, I gotta talk.
Right. Yeah. It
You know,
helps.
but
It definitely
we
helps
have
for
to
sure.
we as black people have to get out that stigma that there's something wrong with you for seeking therapy. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I look at some people in our community that'll be happy to say their kid is gay, but won't be proud to say that my child is getting therapy. And there's something wrong
Yeah.
with that.
You know, the educational process that, like what you're saying, we need to be re-educated, if you will, to not look along those lines that there's something wrong with if a kid, you know, uh, is having certain issues or whatever. But the only way we'll know is if we put it out there. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? As far as like to educate and re-educate. We
right.
have to be re-educated. But it's a hell of a thing. So
And
your book is out.
it
Hmm.
starts at home because I'm gonna be honest. I grew up with a single mother, you know, and it sucks when you gotta, when the men don't step up and do what they supposed to do. I grew up in, like I said, it was my mother doing the best she could in the area that we lived in.
How
So
many brothers and sisters you have?
I had one brother and two sisters. So I
Oh,
applaud my
you
mother
just
because every single one of us came out of that, and we're all doing good. So my mom's, I could look back and say my mom's she did a good job because she raised us to get up out of there and make sure that we make something of ourselves. And you don't see a lot of it. It doesn't happen for a lot of people there. But you know and as much as I hate to say it, therapy wasn't promoted growing up.
not at all. It's not even
You
really
know.
promoted now in the black community.
What they do now for us is if they see an issue, the first thing they go is, "Oh, he needs Ritalin."
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how we gonna fix it. Let's give him a
right.
drug.
Yeah. They medicate you before
Yep,
they educate you.
yep,
They think that's going to solve the problem. Sometimes it creates more problems.
yep.
You know.
You get people don't understand that those drugs, they go from being they gateway drugs, no different than what they say marijuana is. I've seen a lot of people go from that Ritalin to hard drugs because they
Well,
looking for that same feeling. You got kids who don't even need it, who take that drug in college just to make it through class.
yeah.
It's the we got to get up. Like I said, sometimes it's like when me and Miss we stay where you know I'm not gonna act like we're perfect parents because I'd be lying if I said there's no such thing as a perfect parent. But we do the best to make sure we stay on top of our kids, who they with, who they hanging with, what they doing. When my son play basketball, there is no court where on the basket don't see kids he play basketball with and some of the adults. So every time he step out there, they know they're gonna see me out there.
So,
And
you ever get on the court with him? I mean, can you still run? Can you still, do your
I
thing like that?
I try, but when my son was younger, yeah, I used to play with him. I used to beat him all the time. Now I know because I can't keep up with him. I've tried a few times. We would have really close games, and then it would just go. He'd go all the way with it. I give it to him. He worked really hard, and he took a lot of what I helped him with, and he's went a long way with it because I used to push him. Not push him to quit, but make him just not not give up.
Right,
If
right.
this is what you want, it's going to take work.
We got to work at it, no doubt.
you know.
Yeah.
And the my proud moment with him is when he was in middle school, and they asked him to play on a basketball team, and he wanted to show that he could play. So he came to me and was like, "Dad, I need you to help me." It made me proud because I'm like, this is the moment I've been waiting for my son to say, "Hey, this is what I need. I need from you to help me get where I need to go." You know, he took advantage of the fact that he got me around.
Okay. He's in high school now.
Yeah,
How old is he?
he's 16. He's right now playing on. He actually made the varsity team, so hopefully they do something that comes out of it.
He's 16.
He's
So
16.
what is he? Is he a junior or?
Yeah, he's a junior now.
And he's on varsity. Okay, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
How tall is he?
About 5'9", a couple inches
All
taller
right.
than me. Maybe 3 or 4 inches taller than me.
Something like that. 5'9".
Yeah,
He
5'10",
got
somewhere
hops.
around there.
Can he throw it down?
Yeah, he could dunk. When I first heard it, when he, I didn't know he could dunk in middle school because, like I said, I was watching him play ball the whole time, and I would say to him, "You can't dunk." And we started going to the games, and one of the parents was like, "Well, I'm here. I heard Nasir could dunk, so I'm here to see it." And I'm like, "What?" Because he never dunked in front of me. And then
So
his coach
you
told
didn't
me,
even know that he could throw it down.
I was laughing. I was like, I don't believe that. But he was telling me that. And then I actually seen it. I seen him dunk it a few times. I was like, all right. But he's, because my son is real, he's laid back. He's more laid back than me. Like, he get into it. He get on the court. They talk shit to him. He don't even pay them no mind. He just showed them by the work he do.
Okay. Well, see, that's what you respect that even more. And that's where he probably like watch your role, watch how you do what you do, because you lay in the cut, and then that kind of thing. The silent assassin doesn't speak; he talks when it's necessary to talk. So your son definitely picked that up. It seems like that's what's up, you know, and yeah, I thought you were blanking out again, but yeah, so that's good, man. And all right, so let's see. Before your wife tells me which way to go again, I mean, let me see what I have. What I wanted to ask you too,
Hmm.
because we talked about how do you feel like with Beyonce with the country thing?
Yeah. Hey, people fail to understand. Country came from black music. you know, we just didn't get the recognition. I don't. We to me, it doesn't matter. I don't listen to country, so Beyonce being in country, hey, more power to you. It's just I just think that it's funny how they didn't want her in there, and the way she did it. From what I understand, the only reason she did it is because they didn't want her there.
So that's why
So
she did it.
yeah, from what I understand, the only reason she did it is because when she was talking about doing country music, she's from Texas. You don't think she understand country music?
But you know
And
what's interesting, what's deep about that? Not to cut you, it's just that uh, Eminem, right?
mm-hmm.
The biggest rapper in the game, pretty much, huh? Out of
Yeah,
Detroit, and he's white. So yeah. So
and we celebrate him.
that's
We
what I'm saying.
celebrate him.
Yeah, So Beyonce, she crosses over for some, for whatever reason, if you want to call it crossing over. But like you said, we were the originators of country music. I don't know, Charlie Pride, he was in country, and there's a long history going back to that. So, and it's I said something one time on a podcast where uh, growing up, I used to watch different shows, white show, if you want to call it. I mean, that's all you could watch. I'm a little older than you, and I used to watch like Leave It to Beaver, Father Knows Best, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't. I didn't understand, that. I didn't look to see that there were any blacks on the show. I remember Seinfeld years ago. They would say, "Oh, there's no blacks on Seinfeld or anything," but they used to always they had black people on Seinfeld. You know what I'm saying? But there was no blacks on Leave It to Beaver, no blacks on those shows. But that's all we had to watch, and I liked it. How many black people like hockey? My stepfather was Puerto Rican. He watched hockey. He turned me on to hockey. I used to love hockey. I haven't watched it in years, but why can't I look at hockey?
Right.
Huh? As a black
I
man.
only watch it. I only watch it so I can see the fights. If they ain't fighting, I keep on moving.
Okay. Yeah, but you watch it. But
Mhm.
it's just one of those things where Beyonce, she's in country. She's the biggest thing in country now, because of whatever, and she's talented. So listen, more power to Beyonce
Yeah.
for being a country artist. And then with Puffy, they always talk about, I think I mentioned, yeah, they always talk about Puffy. Every time it's Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, he's partying. Huh? That's what they always
Yeah.
say about him. That he's always coming from he's at a party, he's partying, he just got through, it's always partying. This young man, this brother, built an incredible empire. He's a mongrel, right, in the music business. You never talk about along those lines how he built that empire, right? Now, what he did, what he allegedly did or doing or whatever, you know what? I don't know anything about that. I saw what I saw with Cassie, which was unfortunate. It was disgusting, and that should have never went down. We know that, But the thing is, why do they always talk about Puffy and partying?
You know, I'm gonna be honest, and because I'm gonna keep it real with you. I get Puffy built a billionaire company, $1 billion company, right? But unfortunately, when you look back at how many people he stepped on to do it, it's kind of wrong. Now, the partying thing is, I ain't mad at him having a party. What I'm gonna tell you is, if if they're waiting now to say, hey, look at all the stuff he was doing at the parties. Why? I always wonder why now. Because this is not a secret. This has always been something that Puffy wasn't a good dude. It was never a secret. As much as we would like to blame Puffy, we got to look at everybody who was partying with him to let this rock so that they can go to these parties. That didn't say anything, who kept it quiet. I bet you was a lot of people before that Cassie video came out knew what he was doing to her, but they all stayed quiet.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
if and I look at the FBI and all of that, yes, it is. What that man does in his bedroom, as long as it was legal, and whoever he did it with, so what? How he went to having 1,000 bottles of baby oil, more power to him. That's not
yeah.
a crime to me. That's
No,
not a reason to bring him down. If you're gonna
no.
bring him down, let's focus on what he did. And and then when I look at, and like I said, if he did anything he's alleged of, he deserves to be where he's at. But we
Right.
also got to look at, there are people who, when they see something happen, they want to jump on that bandwagon. We can't. We're not gonna act like that. He was the biggest rapist in all of California. All of hip hop. Nah, when you got 100, 200 people talk about, oh, this is what he did to me. You mean to tell me nobody saw it, just you? And why now did you come out to say something?
Yeah.
Because and when I was looking at it, I was listening to the radio one day. I'm on my way to Pennsylvania. I'm listening to the radio, and all the allegations came from mostly men. Now I'm a man myself. There's no way that this man is gonna do something to me, and he's gonna live to tell about it.
Yeah, I
It's
feel you.
it's there, and that's the part that gets me. Why, as a man, why now that you just let that rock? Till and a lot of them aren't even coming after, say, hey, he committed a crime. They just want the money, and that's where I find it hard, to go along with, because if he actually raped you, that's a crime. Why are you concerned more about the money than the actual crime?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the other thing about it too. It's just like we're all these dudes that, he allegedly violated and all this other stuff. And uh but the thing that every time I watch, the news or podcast or something first thing is out of, the freak offs, the parties and stuff. And, I mean, damn, did he do anything else? I mean,
Right.
did he eat? What else did he, you know what I'm saying? Did he enjoy a movie every now and then? Huh? I mean, did he go to a show? You know what I'm saying? Just chilling? You
you,
know,
you know,
he's
it's
partying. He's on
it's
his way to a
Hollywood.
party.
It's Hollywood, and they trying to make it something. I like I said, I just look at it as whatever he did in his bedroom, as long as it's legal, it should not be a crime. I don't care who he did it with. He could have had 100 people in his bedroom, and they all in they mansions doing whatever they doing. Is if they doing it legally, and then nobody's getting raped or taken advantage of. I don't see the crime in that.
They say he's running around playing basketball butt naked, bucket ass. In
I didn't hear that one.
yeah. Jamie Foxx got the video. He was there. He seen them flopping around, running back. I mean, you know what? That's him. If that's what he does, like you said, if he wants to run around on his own property, doing whatever, that's his business. Yes.
Yep.
But my thing is that he did other things outside of that. He signed Mary J, did this, that,
Yep.
Joe, I mean, he has some accomplishments. Yes. Correctly, as you correctly said, he stepped on a lot of people. They would say he's that way. His former bodyguard, Gene Deal, was saying the fact is that a lot of people stepped on him. They would say Puffy wasn't that way. When you really listen to Gene, and he's speaking, you can hear it from his heart. He's like, he wasn't that way when he first came in the game. He was a nice young man. He was about his business, that kind of thing. Now, what happened in '92 over there at the college, Manhattan College?
I was there.
Oh, you what?
I was there.
You was there?
With the Heavy D and all of that
All
college,
that.
the city college.
11 people died. They got stomped on. Would you?
Yep, as a couple of people I know.
So was you part of that whole thing, or were
No.
What?
I
so
was
what happened? What
outside.
Was the jump off,
we were outside trying to get in, and there was people trying to get in and people trying to get out. Because what we understood that somebody was in there shooting. So when somebody started shooting, people were trying to come out.
Well, hold up.
Other people were trying to push in.
But I heard that the event was oversold.
Yeah, it was overbooked.
Right.
They oversold it. And then the crazy part is what we did. What was happening? There was people who paid that couldn't get in because it was that crowded. So you had those people outside mad trying to get in, while there was a bum rush of people trying to get out.
And then they did a fight broke out or whatever. They started blasting, started busting off, and then okay. Did you never got in?
No, we never made it in. That thing closed down after that.
What happened? Yeah, But yeah, so that was a big deal back then. Yep. And there was blood on his hands from that incident, and then it's just like there's been a dark cloud over him ever since. Like you said, there was always rumors of what went on and what he was about, this, that, and the third. And it's unfortunate because he did some good stuff, and then again, all the other stuff that he did was not good at all, so
yeah, when you hear it, so many people where they claim we all heard the story of how he did the locks, with their publishing. He took a lot of people's publishing and wouldn't give it back to them. He took advantage of them. When you look at it, who do you blame? He's a businessman. He's writing up the contract. If you're not reading your contract and you signing it over to him, then you got to look at yourself, and it's a dirty business.
It is a dirty business, and they talk about what what happened. Biggie was leaving him, allegedly or whatever. That's how, how he ended up dead, Biggie. at the hands of allegedly Puff, that with Pac and stuff. He wanted
Mm-hmm.
to get with Pac, push up on him, and then Pac was messing with Quincy Jones' daughter. It's just so many things that we might not never know. I don't know if you with Kim Porter's book. It's on
Nah, I didn't
YouTube.
look at that.
It wasn't on his
Well,
page.
it's on YouTube. It's very
Oh,
interesting.
yeah, I never even paid attention to that. Because I'm gonna be honest, she ain't around to say that whether that book is legitimate or not.
Well, you know what? I feel you. I hear you 100%. But the thing is that some of the I listen to it, and just some of the stuff that it has a ring of truth to it. Now, as you said, she's not here. She can't say, well, this is how it happened and stuff. But there's some stuff that she talks about, and that she's Lady Miss says it's not her words. AI. I don't know. You know, it could be, but then again, uh, the guy's already, you know, jammed up.
Mm-hmm.
With Albie Short, what I'm saying, it's just something out there. But then again, it's not factual as you guys are saying, so I guess we got to
Right.
leave it there. But yeah,
We'll
brother,
see when it comes out in court. We'll see what it is.
yeah,
You
Lady
know.
Miss says, it's not her words. I put that up there. But yeah, yeah. So she says it's AI. Oh, hey, look, I don't know,
Yeah,
but yeah,
she said it was on Amazon, but they took it down. So because it was apparently it wasn't her actual book.
because this is after she passed, so yeah, they can't prove anything. Yeah, I hear you.
Right.
But I listened to it. It was one of those nights, and I said, "Yo, it wasn't long. Hour and some change, and there was some stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? It had the ring of truth to it. Uh, you know, again, can't verify any of it. Not all of it. But so, brother, anything
Yep.
that you want to leave us with that you want the people to know in regards to whatever?
Yeah, I think we touched on everything. I would like to give a shout out to first my wife, Lady Miz, where everybody knows. My shining star, my kids.
Your kids?
Yep, all our kids. You know, my family. Just to name a few. I don't have a. I keep my circle small, so it ain't a lot of people who I got to shout out.
And
But I would like to. I could give my Instagram.
okay,
It's Ray underscore the silent assassin on Instagram, and it's my name on Facebook, Ray Merriman.
no doubt. So Ray, the silent assassin,
The silent assassin.
the silent assassin, and then on Facebook is Ray Merriman.
Yep.
And I think it was a good interview, man. I think we
Yeah,
did
thank you. I
cover a lot.
appreciate it. It
I
was.
appreciate you. It was interesting. I learned a lot, about the because I was so when you said with the E5 with I thought it was ensign. What is ensign? What is it ensign?
That's the first level of officer.
Alexa,
When
how do you spell ensign?
Incense is spelled
no,
Alexa,
she
INCE.
started
Alexa.
wrong. It's
Oh,
ENSIGN.
it starts with an E. Yeah, because I'm
Yes,
all
yeah, yeah,
twisted when it
ensign.
comes to spelling and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's ensign. That's how it's pronounced, ensign.
okay. Karen says Navy boy. Is there anything that is that one of your handles as well? I like to
Yeah,
look up.
that is, but that one that's not something I use. My main one is the Ray the Silent Assassin.
All right. And your wife gave a thumbs up or her approval. Great job, guys. Thank you, Lady Miz. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, and with
I,
with this, uh huh.
I got one more shout out to all the veterans that served this country. I can't forget y'all. You know, we shouldn't.
No doubt. And you know what? One more time with your book. It's called
Tell your story.
Tell Your Story. And then I like the fact that you pointed out with the black men and mental therapy. You know, should be more aware of that. And I'd like to do a follow up with you around two. A man, a few words. Sometimes she says, Karen. Karen got jokes. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Tell
know what?
mama.
Yeah, in the Midwest, you know, the air. Sometimes the air, you know what I'm saying? You know, goes to your head or whatever. So yeah, Karen got jokes. A man, a few words. Sometimes funny. But yeah, God bless you, Ray. Thank you again, man.
God
Enjoy
bless
the
you.
rest
Thank
of your
you.
evening, man. Yes, sir. So
You too.
Ray Merriman, everybody. Huh? Yes, indeed. So enjoy the rest of the evening, brother. Peace. Ray Merriman. That was interesting. You know, it learned a lot about the Navy and stuff, and it was good because I always wanted to, you know, wanted to go to Vietnam, wanted to serve and stuff like that. I want to actually, you know what? I wanted to go to the Air Force. I always wanted to be a pilot, you know, but I have absolutely no sense of directions whatsoever. And but I felt I would be a good pilot. You know, they just told me make a right, make a left, or whatever. I know there's got to be a, you know, there's coordinates and all that stuff. Uh, but uh, yeah, Air Force is that would have been my option, I think. But yeah, so Ray Merriman, that was interesting. I enjoyed that, and I want you to stay safe. Karen says, Amanda, I almost joined the Air Force. Karen says, you know, we close it out with that. But yeah, and you know what? When we were talking about the Puff Daddy thing, you know, and I know he's guilty, right? As far as like from what we saw, you know, but it's just to me again with him, you know, all the time saying the partying shit, partying, partying, partying. You know, I know he did more than party, you know, and but that's all they talk about. But anyway, I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna say, stay safe, keep your loved ones close to you. If you love them, tell them you love them. You can't be wrong if you're doing the right thing. Persistence overcomes resistance all the time. And one thing I had read at some point, you know, that if you're in a negative situation and you're doing positive, you win. Keep that in mind. God bless you. Peace to the beat. I love that beat.